Hello everyone, welcome back to our Thoughts On video. And this Thoughts On video is a little out of sequence. It is for our a Law of One channeling that we did on Kakika's Q&As about harvest, ascension, and the densities. And so we've rewatched the recording, and Caroline and I will record our thoughts on.
Yes. Thank you, Leo. And thank you all for joining. So if you haven't watched the recording, you can click in the description box. You will find the link to indeed to this Q&A session that is related to the Law of One session one that we recorded also weeks ago. So Leo, can you tell us how you feel about this recording and also what stood out for you?
Yes, so I felt really, really good during the recording, as well as now after watching back, and I feel that I I had spoken. What stood out was I had spoken quite a bit actually. Ra had spoken quite a bit, maybe even so more than usual. And we were talking about this a little while ago actually that I think we think it's really because Ra is just very excited about the theme, and it makes a lot of sense. And indeed, is a little extra excited when we speak on the Law of One or anything related to, or whenever we tie it back to the Law of One in some way. It is always very, there's an extra excitement in the air. So I think that was definitely the reason why we spoke so much. But as we were saying, it felt like it was still a good balance between Ashtar, even though Ashtar seems to be more of like a questioner role in these recordings. There's still a great back and forth, and yes, this was my initial thoughts and feelings about this.
Mm. And you were saying, so before this actual recording, that you were tired during this the recording, and in fact, I cannot tell because in fact, Ra seems indeed very very excited, and so we could not, or at least I did not notice that you were more tired than usual because there was so much excitement and again, it makes sense that Russ speaks more and that there is this overexcitement because I think that this law of one is more Ra's favorite topic, maybe, and that they are indeed very excited to share about this material. So so yes, so everything makes sense. I mean, in terms of excitement and in terms of Ra speaking a little bit more than Ashtar, although I think that it was very quite balanced, and I don't feel that it was very imbalanced, to be honest, because Ashtar said what he had to say, so it's perfect in this way. And are there some themes that you would like to talk about?
Yes, one of the main themes that stuck out was how it was the sort of responsibility that was given to us that we gave to ourselves, that we are the ones that are here to make this shift for our world, for ourselves and our world, and sort of Ra and Ashtar's emphasis that while they and our guides and higher selves are here to support, we as the human selves, the ones that decided to embody human bodies, we are the ones that need to do the sort of legwork, the sort of the physical, practical. And it makes a lot of sense. And their emphasis that all of these sort of signs that we look for, some may look for, whether it's solar flares or some sort of a big event, that is a actual that is the result of us doing our inner work first, and that when enough humans have done that sort of inner work, that is what will signal and signify and sort of send the signal to Ra and everyone else that okay, we're ready. So you can pump up the energy even more. And I think that that's what it's really about, and it makes so much sense. And so their underlying message of do not wait anymore. You know, you can create joy in your lives right now. We can create more love and light in our lives right now. We don't have to wait for the solar flare. Rather, if we wait for it, then we'll prolong our it'll take longer for us to experience it in that way. And so I think that was the one of the main messages that stuck out. How about you?
Yes, and yes, I totally agree. I totally agree because Ashtar and Ra spoke a lot about the choice, all the choices that we have, that we are doing throughout our day. You know, we have the choice to eat a certain way, to watch certain things, to listen to certain things or not. And depending on those, all those daily little choices, it will indeed raise our vibrations, meaning that we will be in a better state of mind or not such a good state of mind, and that this is a choice and a responsibility that we have. And so I also wrote the fact that Ra mentioned the choice also for the fact that we chose to be on Earth, and so we chose to make the work, and so now it's like a it's our own responsibility because first and foremost we chose, and then now indeed we have to do the work, and within the work there are multiple choices that we can do and that we are currently doing, some most of the time without noticing them or realizing that we are doing choices, you know, just about what do I eat this morning, what do I eat for lunch. These are choices, and yes, so that's what I wrote. And yeah, and Ashtar said also that indeed to choose light, to choose love, to choose joy, and because we are choosing this, it creates indeed a better experience. That if we are joyful, of course, it's way much better than if we are depressed or angry at life or hating everyone around. And indeed, it creates a better experience for us, and therefore, because we are kind of, it's like it's like if they are saying that the ascension process is in fact um, trying to be the best version of ourselves, you know, both very joyful, but they're very vibrant, very loving, very to be great person. And by us being great people, but also radiating more, which means also all the physical activity and being able to move and to move these vibrations or energies or whatever. Indeed, the more we radiate, it also comes with being in perfect health as well. And so, yes, it makes sense. It totally makes sense. And yes, this is a great message. Um, and Yes, I also enjoyed the fact that Ashtar spoke about the continuum, because maybe there are people within the spiritual community who are thinking that, okay, we are in the third, and so first we have to wait until we move to the fourth density or fifth density. And it's like if we are stuck somewhere and then the gates will open and then we will be in the fourth, and then the doors will be closed and then it will open again, and then we will arrive at the fifth. And I enjoyed the fact that Ashtar said that it was way much more valuable, and that in fact, according to Ashtar, depending on the state we are in, maybe yes, indeed, sometimes we may be at the fifth dimensions, and sometimes we come back more in the practicality of our daily life in the third dimensions, and so things are more fluid than we think. And I also enjoyed the fact that he said that it was also a continuum, meaning that it's not because we will arrive at the fourth or at the fifth dimensions that things will stop there. In fact, it's a growing, never-ending experience, and I think that our guides and all the beings around are also going after or living this ascension path um, over and over.
Yes, totally. I totally agree. I think that yes, I think that perfectly ties into the idea of, I love what you said about ascension can be seen as really becoming the greatest or a greater version of ourself, and I really agree. And I think this ties into what Ron Ashtar was saying, that it's not that the solar flare event is going to make us great or and turn this this world into a great place. It's rather as we become great people, we turn this place into a great place, and they'll start signaling sort of solar flare firework activity. And so I think I totally agree with you. And yes, I think this also idea of the that it's like a stratified sort of static band, and that you're either in one or you're either in the other, you're not in both. I think this is, yes, this is not the full picture. I think from what I'm experiencing is that there is a very sort of we're able to tap into the sort of the higher as well as the lower in all of this. And it's more of our where's our sort of baseline? Where are we normally at in our day to day? And that is for the normal sort of human, you could say, the 3D, the sort of 3D bandwidth, let's say. However, it's not that all humans are just in the 3D. It's rather, you could say, most humans, most of the time, are in this sort of 3D layer frequency. And then there's also 40, 5D, there's lower as well. And we tune into those throughout the day, whether it's, yeah, we experience this joy, we're actually tuning into those higher realms. It's just, it's a matter of practicality and capacity that we're just not ready yet. We don't have the capacity yet to stay at these sort of joyful realms and just stay here without frying our system. We'll fry our system if we just try to yeah all the time. We're gonna fry our system. So we are already tuning into these higher densities. It is just a matter of we haven't grounded it in yet fully. Our capacity isn't able to sustain those sorts of states. And so I think this is important because we often, I feel, judge the lower frequencies, the lower densities. And I love what Ross says as well, that it's not that lower is bad, just means it's slower. And slower is necessary a lot of the time. When we rest, we slow down and we rest. And so it's a part of the ebb and flow, and it's not necessarily a bad, evil part of life. It is just a actual intrinsic, necessary, fundamental part of the ebb and flow of life.
Yeah, thank you for your explanations. And I am also reading my notes to see if I um, want to add something related to this. Um, I think I also enjoyed what I think it was Ra who said that from time to time we also have to step back to see the greater picture. Um, would you like to speak about this, Leo?
Sure, I agree. I think that's really important. I think that the stepping back is, I think, more of the restful part of the ebb and flow. And because it's more of a sort of disconnecting a bit, disentangling from our reality in front of us, all of our problems and stressors and issues and this and that, all of this, we relax and release from this, so that all the energies throughout the day that's built up like this, it can relax and release and settle and expand. And then when we're in this more stepped back, expanded, relaxed state, I think this is very restful and it allows us to recharge. I really feel this is very much like we're resting in the womb of God, you could say, or just in this very restful state. And then I think this is very, very important, of course, because many of us are very over activated, overstimulated through with all the things that we do throughout the day. And so this is very, very important. And once we're rested, once we step back a bit and we rest, then when we step back in, we're so much more ready and our capacity has now been reset in a way and upgraded so we can experience even more love and share even more love in this reality. What are your thoughts on this or anything else?
Um, my thoughts are that maybe we don't have the greater picture. Obviously, because first and foremost, just for me, I don't know what the 5G is supposed to be, even the fourth G. Um, I don't know how it's supposed to look like, and to be honest, that's not of my major concern. Um, and so I just try to be indeed to keep my vibrations high at a high level, meaning that I try to indeed to move. I try to eat healthy and not to judge and to keep an elevated state of mind throughout the day. However, indeed, I don't have the full picture of where it will lead me, where it will lead us, where it will lead humanity by us going through this process. So, I mean, just as for me, there are many, many missing pieces and parts of this so-called ascension process. Um, to me, I see it more as an evolution that we are all going through, um, and um, and to be honest, I don't worry about that. Maybe there are some people within the spiritual community who are worried about this ascension process, or who are wondering, will I ascend? When will I ascend? Etc. Etc. As you said, I think that worrying too much about these questions may slower the process because it may hold us back. So I think that if we just try to live our daily life in the most benevolent and great way, we are all going through this process, and that we don't have to worry whether it will happen or not. Um, as Ashtar said, we when we are in the kindergarten, we are always growing, uh, and most of the time without realizing. And we can seemingly stay in the kindergarten for 3 years, 4 years, or how many, and it still means that we are growing, and at some point, yes, indeed, we will graduate. We will go to the bigger school, and yeah. So I think that we don't have to worry for this, but just to try to be, yes, as nice as we can, as joyful as we can, as peaceful as we can, and try to master our own thoughts, and also be aware of what we are consuming. And by this simple practice, that still require work indeed, and choices, then we are going through this process of ascension, and we will ascend, yeah, sooner or later, but it will come.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. I really think that's the case. And to simply put, to summarize, to simplify, we don't really need to know the whole big picture. We just, I think, need to develop enough trust that there is a big picture, that there is a greater plan, whether that's trust in our guides or God or ourselves or all of the above. This is very, I think, the critical component, the trust. And then from there, with that trust, to take actions in accordance with that trust. In other words, now that we trust and we are able to trust, well, then we should live our lives now and live it more lovingly and vibrantly and funly and joyfully and peacefully and all of this. And as you say, I think this is really what it is. This is just this simplified ascension process. We grow our lives, we trust and we grow and live our lives and pursue a life of greatness. This is really it. And I think we don't have to complicate it. We don't have to overthink things. We just need to develop that trust and then yes, live our lives.
Yeah, and I like what you say about the this idea of living and cultivating our greatness in some ways. And indeed, I think that's our mission to try to have uh, the greater life possible and to live in greatness and to trust that there is a bigger plan and our job is to try to enjoy as much as possible and in a joyful state and in a peaceful state. So yes, I totally agree with what you said.
Yes. The world of Lumen's mission is to create an ascended world, you could say. And what does that mean? It means creating a world where we live the life of our greatest dreams. Yes, this is what it means.
You're right. And is there something that you would like to add, Leo?
No, I feel quite complete at this time. I don't have anything to add at this right now. How about you?
I feel perfect too. Yes.
Great. Perfect. Okay then. Well, thank you all once more, our great Lumen fam. We are very happy in how our channel, how our community, how this is all growing, how it's all evolving. We have there are things in store that shifts, changes that will come soon that Caroline and I are both very excited about, and we'll begin to implement these changes more and more. There'll be more structure in that. Yes, there'll be more a vibrant structure to everything, like to say, and will I feel the uploading rhythm and the content and all this will become more and more harmonized and smoothed and polished. So yes, we're very, very excited. Yes.
Mhm. And thank you again, Leo. Thank you, our guides, and thank you, all of you. Thank you so much for following our journey to be part of this journey with us. Thank you so much for liking and commenting our videos. This is really wonderful. So we are very very grateful, and so we thank you. Yes.
Yes. Thank you guys. We will catch you all very soon. Bye.
Bye bye.